Hello everyone, welcome to another video. In this video, I will be showing you a real project that I did in my previous organization. Okay, so this is a very good project that you can put in your resume and you can showcase it in an interview. He or she will be really impressed. Okay, so let's just understand the plot here. So what we want to do is we want to create a separate user interactive portal for a user to start and stop some of his instances. Okay, but the issue is we don't want him to access the AWS management console. Okay, because in AWS also you have the option to create an IAM role. Okay, or you can create an IAM user with limited permissions attached to it, and he or she can use the user can use that to start and stop only a few instances. We can do that, right? But the problem is the person who we want to have access to this to these EC2 instances to start and stop does not have any prior knowledge on using AWS management console or CLI. Also, there was an instruction from security side as well that we should not I'm giving the access to the production AWS management console. So what they wanted is that we should create a separate interactive portal for him, okay, wherein he just needs to look at the options on the screen and just select that option to start and stop his instances. Okay, so this was the issue. So let's just understand this problem statement that I've mentioned here. A manager who manages multiple developers working on various applications deployed on multiple AWS EC2 instances has been advised by senior management to regularly stop a few instances when the developers are not using them. This is to support AWS cost optimization project currently happening in the company. The problem is that the manager has no knowledge on how to use AWS Management Console or CLI to stop these instances. So he has asked for a user interface to do this. I hope this problem statement is clear to you. Okay, so here if you see, we are trying to achieve cost optimization because in AWS especially, cost is a very big concern. I mean, you can deploy your resources, but to control the cost is a big thing. So you need to from time to time you need to optimize your resources so that you can save some cost for the company. Okay, so here the issue was that some of the EC2 instances that were being used by a team of developers, they were not being used the entire day. Okay, so we could actually shut them manually and restart them whenever we want them. So this was the whole idea to save some cost on the compute and on the compute part of those EC2 instances. So I mean, I actually tried to search for the solution a lot. I mean, I tried to even get in touch with AWS support team, but at that time there was no solution available out of the box. Okay, I searched on Google for a few days, and one day I found a script. Okay, a script that I could use, I could customize to create a portal. Okay, which will be inside the bash script only. So it will not be a web portal, but it will be a portal using a bash script. And then on the portal, you can put the options to start and stop certain instances, just like you do on a real web portal. Okay, so the solution is the DevOps team came up with an idea of building a bash script based user interactive portal to enable the developer manager to stop these instances. The script uses AWS CLI in the backend to call start instances and stop instances API calls. As you know, to start and stop EC2 instances, you need to use start instances and stop instances API calls. Either you can use the AWS management console or you can use CLI. Okay, so this is like the default solutions available. So let's just look at the architectural diagram also, what we are going to do here. So the manager who needs to have access to start and stop these instances will be SSHing to one of the main Bastion hosts, that he regularly uses to access all the other instances in the environment. So he'll be doing that, and then I am going to create an IAM role which will have an IAM policy attached to it. That policy will have only start instances and stop instances access to the two instances that this manager wants to start and stop. Okay, so whosoever logs into this instance is going to assume this IAM role, and then he or she can start and stop these two instances. So how he's going to do that? Via a bash script. So we are going to use a bash script which will have some AWS CLI commands. Also, there will be a utility called dialog. Okay, I'll come to that. I'm going to show you a demo also, but just want to give you a very high level overview that it's going to be a bash script. Inside the bash script, you will see some AWS CLI commands. Also, you're going to see this dialog utility, which is available in Linux to have that interface that we want for the user. All right. So architecture is pretty simple to understand. So I've already given all the steps here. What do you have to perform in order to get a hands-on of this project? So step 1 is to provision 3 EC2 instances. So the EC2 instances that I'm using will be from Amazon Linux 2023 AMI. Okay. One will be the manager's Bastion host, and the other two will be developer's instance to be administered by the manager, as it is given in the diagram also. So we need 1, 2, 3 instances to perform this demo. Then I'm going to get an IAM policy. Okay, so let's go step by step. So first thing is to create these EC2 instances. So I'm in my AWS management console. So as you can see, to save some time, I have already created 3 EC2 instances using Amazon Linux AMI 2023. Okay, if you have any doubts on how to get an EC2 instance, you can check other videos in this playlist. The earlier video on EC2 instances deep dive, where I have shown with all the steps, all the options, how to create an AWS EC2 instance. All right, so I need to log into this Bastion host, okay, which I have already done, but we'll come to that in a moment. So let's go step by step. So EC2 instances are available for us. Now we have to create an IAM policy. Okay, IAM policy, which is already attached in the Git repo, to have start stop access to the two instances. So let's have a look at the policy also. So this is the IAM policy that we need to copy. So I can just copy this from here and go to my AWS management console. On the IAM section, go to policies, and then I can click on create policy. So this is the policy that will be attached to the IAM role, and then IAM role will be attached to the Bastion host, from where the manager can start and stop his instances. So I just copied and pasted in the JSON format as it is. So as you can see here, you get the option to describe instances, which is required to check the status of to check the current status of instances, if it is in stop status or if it is in running status. Okay, I'm going to show you a demo also, but just want to explain this IAM policy also. Then I've also added these two start instances and stop instances API call action, which is available, which is I want to allow this policy to have access to start instances and stop instances, but only to these two resources. Okay, so since we are using 2 instances, it can be any number of instances, but in this example, I'm going to show you 2 instances. So you get start instances and stop instances access only on these 2 instances. But in case of this describe instances command, this describe instances command cannot be used with a particular resource. Okay, so this is like a limitation to this particular API call in AWS. We have to use a resource the resource has to be star, which means you need to give this access to to star, which means that the user who has the access will be able to view all the instances in the account. So this is again one of the limitations of this particular API call. But since we are using a separate portal, so we can counter this limitation of this API call. Okay, so this is done. Then go to next, and you can name it like EC2 start stop policy, and just create policy. So step 1 is done, step 2 is done, IAM policy is done. Then we have to create an IAM role and attach the IAM policy created in step 2 to it. Okay, so let's go to our management console again and go to roles, create a role. I'm going to use trusted entity type AWS service because I want to attach this role to an EC2 instance. So you have to use this option. Here you can choose EC2, then next. Then here you have to attach the policy. So you can just search for that one, or maybe I'll just filter it out with the custom managed policy, and you will see only one policy here listed. Next. EC2 start stop role, and just click on create role. Fine, the role is created. Now next is to okay, policy attached. Step 4 is to SSH to the Bastion host as root and install these two packages, git and dialog packages. Okay, I will also given the commands also, so you can just so first thing is you have to log into the Bastion host. If you see here in instances, I have 3 instances, so I need to SSH to the Bastion host. So this is the main instance that the manager is going to use to run the commands to start and stop these 2 instances. Okay, so I've already logged into this instance as root user, and I'm going to run this command to install git and this dialog utility. Copy and paste. This is done. Next is clone the repo to copy the bash scripts. Okay, using this git clone command, replace the placeholders in the script with your values. Okay, so we're going to clone the repo now. Copy this and git clone. This is done. So let's cd into it. Let's see what's next step given. So now we have to replace the placeholders in the script with the values, because we need to add the details of these 2 instances, right? Because we want to start and stop these instances. So let's see the scripts. So there are multiple scripts actually. Let me go do ls-la. So there are 5 scripts actually that we are going to use. Okay, so the main script is going to be start stop EC2 script. So this is going to be the main script that is going to execute, and within this script we are going to call all the other scripts to provide you with the solution that we want to have. Okay, so how it's going to work? So first thing is we have to replace the values. So just try to replace the values in the placeholders in all of these five scripts. So for that, let me do it one by one. So I'll open the first one, start -EC2. Okay, so I'm going to explain the details as well a little bit, but let me just replace the values in the placeholders. So here, the first thing that we have to do is we have to replace this. Here we have to replace the instance ID with instance ID of the first instance from the AWS management console, because here we are using this CLI commands. Okay, so let's go to this section and choose instance 1, copy the instance ID from here, go here and replace this with the instance ID from the AWS management console. Okay, similarly you have to copy this in another place in the next command as well. Done. Similarly you have to do it for instance 2 also. Okay, so for instance 2, go back to management console, choose the other instance, copy the instance ID, go back here and replace the instance ID 2 with the instance ID from your management console, and you have to do it on 2 places. Done. Next, we don't need to replace any more placeholders. So this is done. Save and quit. First script done. Script number 2 is the main script. So let's open this. So Vim, and here we have to see what all placeholders we have. So all is good. Yeah, we don't need to do anything here. So all is sorted here. We don't have any placeholders. Okay, so I'm going to explain everything to you how this script is working, but I just want to replace the placeholders first. All right, let's just come out of it. Script number 3 is status. So here once again we have to replace the placeholders for the instance IDs. So instance ID 1 we need. Let's delete this and once again go to your AWS management console to copy the instance ID of the first instance. Copy it, paste. Similarly you have to do it for the other instance also. Yep. So just need to replace the instance ID of the instance 2. Paste. This is done. Save and quit. Right, status is done. Next is stop instance 1. So let's open it again. Let's open this stop instance stop-instance 1.sh script, and here once again we have to replace the instance ID of instance 1. So this is only dedicated to instance 1, this script. So replace these IDs. Copy, paste. Sorry. This is done. And again you have to copy it again in the next command here. Save and quit. Then next is stop instances 2. And copy the instance ID of the second instance from here. You can actually use SED or Z command as well to replace the text, but I just want to keep it simple, okay, because some of the people maybe are not familiar with this command, with that command, so I'm not using it. manually copy and pasting these, but you can use that command if you want to, Z command. This is done. Then last is stop -EC2. So here I don't think we need to replace anything. Yep, all done. So those were the only placeholders that we wanted. All right, let's quit. So placeholders are done. Next is we have to create a user named portal user. So this will be the user that this manager is going to SSH with on the Bastion host. So we have to create a user named portal user and set the password for it. So I've already given the command also, so you can copy and paste this command from here. Go here and run the command. User created, then you have to set the password for him. So passwd portal user, set the password. Password changed, right? Then we have to modify the /etc/ssh/shd_config file to enable password authentication. So this is because by default, when you create an EC2 instance using this Amazon Linux 2023 AMI, you don't have password authentication enabled. So since we want to use password-based authentication to SSH to this Bastion host, we need to modify the main configuration file of our SSH service. So this is the main configuration file. Okay, so you have to copy and paste this, then go to this file. You can do vim, just copy and paste the path to the file and scroll a little bit down. Okay, it's going to be, I'll tell the line number also. You can use set number to set the line numbers, and it's going to be password authentication line number 65. So on line number 65, you have to replace this password authentication, which is set to no to yes, because we want to use password authentication. Save and quit. To apply the changes, you have to restart the daemon. Okay, so you have to restart the SSHD service. So you can just copy and paste this from here and restart. The changes are applied almost immediately. Okay, next is we have to add start stop ec2 script.sh. So this is our main script that is going to be executed when this user named portal user SSHs to the Bastion host. So to do that, what we have to do is we have to add this script in the .bash_profile of this user. Okay, so first thing is, I think I need to I'll just update some more steps here. What you have to do is you have to copy these scripts, all the scripts. Let me clear the screen. ls-la. So first you have to copy all the scripts. Okay, so you can do copy s*. So anything that starts with S is going to be copied to the home directory of the new user, which is going to be /home/portal user, right? So let me do ls-la on that directory, and I can see, yep, all the files are copied. Now once again, if you see, these scripts does not have execute permissions. Okay, because if you want to execute a script, that script should have execute permissions, X permissions assigned to it. Okay, so right now these scripts does not have. Also, if you see, the ownership of these scripts are with root user, but we want to have this portal user to be the owner of these files. Okay, I mean both the ownership and the group ownership should be with portal user. So to do that, we're going to run the command called chown space -r, capital R, and then I'm going to specify portal user colon. So this is going to specify that we want this portal user to be the owner and the group owner both. Okay, where /home/ portal user star. Okay, now if I check the permissions again, I can see the scripts are owned by this portal user now. Okay, now we have to add the execute permissions also. To do that, you can do chmod, and let's use 777 to keep it simple. So what we want, where we want to apply these permissions to? I want to apply this to all files within this directory. If I check the permissions again, I can see all the scripts have become green, which means they have executable permissions now, and they are owned also by portal user and portal user. Okay, this is done. I'm going to add these commands also to my GitHub repo steps, so you can copy and paste from there. Okay, this is done. Next is we have to add the start stop EC2 script in the .bash_ profile of portal user. Okay, so to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to first go to the home directory of the user. So I'm still logged in as root user, remember. Okay, then I'm going to open this file. So each local Linux user has some files created automatically at the time of user creation in their accounts. Okay, so this is one of the files which is, if I do ls-la, you will see some files which start with dot. Okay, so these are the 3 files that are there by default for each local user in Linux when you create the user. So we have to add this script start stop ec2 script.sh into this .bash_ profile. Okay, so how to do that? Just copy the name of the script, vim.bash_ profile, and let me add it here. So we can do something like this. Escape. So here I'm trying to add this script in this .bash_ profile, because as soon as the user logs in, this script is going to be executed, and that's all this user wants to do, right? We don't want this user to do anything else on this machine. He should be able to execute the script and be able to start and stop the EC2 instances. This is done, right? And now let's try to apply this. You can do source.bash_ profile to apply the changes. Okay, so as you can see, as soon as I did that, the script executed, because I'm still logged in as root user, but when I ran that command source, what it means is I'm trying to execute all the steps given in .bash_ profile. So as soon as I did it, the script executed, and this is what we want. So this is like bash script based portal here, as you can see, where the user can start and stop the instances. Okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into this Bastion host with that portal user and see if we're able to do everything from scratch with that user, because here I'm logged in as root user, which we don't want, right? We want to be logged in with a portal user, and then this particular script should execute. So to do that, I'm going to log in again to the Bastion host in another terminal. So let's go here and connect command, and let's go to instances again. Okay, so I'm going to log in to my Bastion host. I'm sorry, I need to cross the command. I need to come out of this command. I want to be logged in as portal user. So what I'll do is SSH portal user at the rate the public IP address of the machine, okay, which is this one. So here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to log into the Bastion host with a portal user ID and password. Okay, it's going to prompt me for the password. So I'm going to enter the password for the portal user, and as soon as I do that, I'm at the screen which I want. So here, as you can see, so this is the type of portal that I was talking about. Here the user is able to start and stop certain instances. So let's test the functionality also. So first thing is, let's just see the status of the current instances. So if I choose the option 3, hit enter, I get to the other screen where I'm able to see which instances for you want to check the status of. So I have two instances here, instance 1, instance 2, and this option number 3 is if I want to go back to the main menu. So let's choose instance 1 here. Let's choose 1 and hit enter. Okay, it's not working right now. Okay, and there's a reason to that. We are going to troubleshoot it. So if you see, when I hit enter, when I choose this instance 1 option, I get this option, unable to locate credentials. You can configure credentials by running AWS configure. This means that this particular user does not have access to check the status of instance 1. Okay, so I mean, why it's happening? So there are some reasons to it. So let's go back to AWS and see the IAM section, the role and the policy that we have created, and see how we can troubleshoot this issue. So let's go to our management console here, and the role is there, right? So let's click on the role and see the policies. So this is the role which is attached, and this is the policy. So within the policy, I think we haven't replaced the placeholders in the IAM policy also, because this policy does not have information of the two instances right now, as far as I remember. So let's just verify that. So this is the policy attached, and let's go to JSON here to check the policy details. And as you can see, I haven't specified the instance ID of the instance. Okay, and one more thing, when you're doing this demo, you have to replace the account ID, your AWS account ID. So this is my account ID, but you have to specify your account ID. So you can replace that with this. Okay, so you have to enter your account ID here, and in terms of instance IDs, you have to use the two instance IDs that we are using for our demo. So let's go to edit option, and choose the instance IDs one more time. So instance ID 1, you can copy it, and replace this instance ID 1 with the instance ID of the main instance. Done. Similarly for instance 2, copy the instance ID of instance 2 and replace it with instance ID 2 placeholder here. Done. Let's click on next, save changes. Done. Now let's try to run the command again. So press enter to continue, enter, and then choose 1 and hit enter. Again you are seeing the same issue. Okay, so there's another issue to it. This is because we have created the IAM policy, we have created the IAM role, we have attached the IAM policy to the IAM role, We have replaced the placeholders in the IAM policy with the two instance IDs of the two instances that we want to use, but we have not attached the IAM role to the Bastion host. So that is why you are seeing this issue. To do that, to resolve this issue, you have to go to your instances section, go to Bastion host, go to actions, security, then modify IAM role. Okay, so we haven't attached the role to the instance. So you have to attach the role here and update IAM role. Once we do that, we can try to run the command again. Press enter to continue. 1. And this time you see instance 1 running, means I was able to hit the I was able to authenticate, right, with on this instance with that role, and I'm able to see the status of instance 1. Okay, so now to go back, you have to press enter and try to do it for the other instance also. So just choose 2 option here, hit enter, and I can check the status of instance 2. So I can see instance 1 running. Okay, I think I did not replace okay, there is slight issue here that we can fix. Let's go back to the main menu. So 3, enter. I'm back to the main menu, and let's try to log out. So 4, enter. So I'm logged out. Okay, so I think there's some issue here. Let's try to fix that. So I'll log into the instance again using root user. Sorry, I'll log in with EC2 user, and then I'm going to become root. So I believe we have to fix the scripts. There are slight issues. So I'm logged in as EC2-user now, and I'm going to become root. Sudo su hyphen, and let's go to the home directory of the user, and let's see. So let's just see each script, because for instance 2 the name was still appearing as instance 1, so we have to fix that. This is fine, instance 1, instance 2, and it's also fine. Everything is looking good here. Let's go to this, and I just want to match the instance ID. So for instance 1 the instance ID is 7C4F, and for instance 2 it is 9C19. For instance 2 it is 9C19, which is fine, right? Instance 1 and instance 2. Let's open this again and see one more time. Yeah, instance 1, instance 2 is fine, right? So let's check the other scripts. Vim status, let's check the status one. I think there is an issue there. Instance 1, instance 2. Yeah, if you see here, here I had to choose the 2 instance IDs. So this is for instance 1 and this is for instance 2, but here I have chosen the same instance ID for the 2 instances. So for instance 2 it is ending with 9C19. So this is what I have to choose here. Let's just replace this with the instance ID of the second instance. Okay, I'm going to explain this, but I'm just want to see if the demo is successful. Then I'm going to explain how the script is actually working. Okay, this is done. Now let's try to log in with the user once again, the portal user. Done. And now let's check the status of all the instances, the 2 instances. So I'll choose option 3 to check the status of instances. Hit enter. I get the option for which instance you want to see the status. I want to see the status of instance 1. Hit enter. Instance 1 running, that's fine. If I choose 2, I should see instance 2 running now. Instance 2 running. So it is sorted. Now let's go back to main menu, choose 3, go. Now I want to stop the instances. So let's choose option 2, stop instances, enter. You get the list of instances. We have 2 instances here. So for example, I want to stop instance number 1. So choose 1, hit enter, and see, you get the warning also. So this is coming from the dialog utility. The dialog utility gives you the option to set up a warning message because you're trying to stop an instance. Okay, so we just want to ensure that there is nothing is going to get impacted when we try to stop any instance. So that is why I've added this dialog utility to show us some warning. So if you see, warning is, are you sure you want to stop instance 1? Okay, if I choose no, enter, I'll get the message instance 1 was not stopped. Press enter to continue here. Okay, enter, I'll go back to the same menu. Now if I want to really stop the instance, then choose 1 again to stop instance 1, hit enter. Again you will be redirected to the warning. Now this time I want to stop the instance, so just hit enter because option yes is already selected. Yes, and you will see the message instance 1 has been stopped. Instance 1 has been stopped. Press enter to continue. Enter. Now if I go back to the main menu to check the status of instance 2, sorry, invalid entry. So let's choose 3 option now, and let's check the status of instance 1 which I just stopped. Enter, and you can see instance is stopped now. Okay, also to verify, you can go to your AWS Management Console and you can just hit refresh here, and instance 1 should be in stopped status. You can see instance 1 is in stopped status now. So the command ran successfully, okay, from this portal. So this is the solution. Okay, so as you can see, I hope you really like this solution. So what the user has to do, he just needs to enter an ID password, SH ID password, to get to this screen, and then visually by seeing the option, he can start the instances, he can stop the instances, and he can check the current status of instances. So this was a solution that I built, but here I have only 2 instances, but there I had close to 70 instances. Okay, it took me some time to build it, but since there was no solution out of the box available, so I use this these combinations of a bash script, AWS CLI commands, and the dialog utility to build this, and client was really happy with it. So this is one of the really good project that you can add to your resume, and I think it's going to work in your favor. Okay, and so this is the solution. So let's go back. Okay, so let's try to understand now how this script is actually working. So let me go here and show you. So as I mentioned, as soon as the user logs in, he's going to get to this screen. So this screen is coming from this script because we added this script in the .bash_profile. Okay, so if you add any script to this file for a particular user, then that particular script is going to be executed as soon as that user logs in. So that's what is happening here in our case, right? Now let's try to understand this script. So let's do start stop EC2, sorry, So what I'm trying to do here is, so okay, first thing is I did not create the script myself. Okay, it was actually given on one of the articles when I was trying to search for the solution. So this is again one of the qualities that a DevOps engineer should have. You should be able to search for certain solutions. Okay, so you should be good with Google apprehension. So I was able to search for this script. Okay, because there was no solution available out of the box, as I just mentioned. So this script just when I was able to see it, and then I ran I learned about all the options that are given in the script one by one, and then I customized it to suit my use case. So that's what I did at that time. Okay, it's been like a couple of years that I did it, but let me just explain some of the options or the things that are actually here, and how we are able to see this portal with all the options. Okay, how the scripts these scripts are working together. So here, as you can see, I'm using this utility called trap. So trap is actually a way by which you can efficiently manage your bash script. For example, you want to continue with the script. You I just want to have the script run continuously, and if someone interrupts the script execution, then you want to stop that. So for that, you can use this trap utility. So here I am trapping these three signals: stop signal, interrupt signal, and terminate signal, so that my script is not interrupted or terminated. Okay, so I'm using this this trap utility. So once again, when I cover my bash scripting course, then I'm going to give you some more details and examples around all of these utilities. But for now, just understand that this is the main function of trap utility here in this script. Then I'm also using some variables, as you can see. Okay, so here what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use a particular color. If you see on this portal, I'm using this bold green color. Okay, so to use this type of color, so this is the way you can configure it inside your bash script. Okay, so this is the exact piece of code that you can use to get this color. Okay, so I've just use this variable to store this particular value, so that I don't have to write this this complicated piece of code every time I want to refer to this bold green color. So I have just stored it in a variable, then I'm just referencing it here in an environment variable here, as you can see. So here I'm using this bold green, but you can use some other color also if you want. Okay, if you change this bold green to some other color, then the color of this these sentences is going to change. Okay, it's up to you. So I'm using bold green color here. Then I'm using these options. So I'm using this trap utility. I'm also using this while true option here inside the script to echo all these different options that are that are to be shown on the user's screen. Okay, when he logs in. So all these options here are coming from this echo command. So I'm trying to echo all this in bold green color, as you can see here. And then I'm going to use this read utility, which is used to store the input entered by the user and store it in a variable. So I'm trying to just trying to capture the input that the user enters, which is going to be stored in a variable called reply. And then I can use my other scripts to call. Okay, depending on what option the user has chosen on the screen, what input the user has given when he reads this screen. Okay, so that is going to be captured in this read. Okay, by this read utility here. So if you see, when the user chooses option 1, which is start instances, then start-ec2.sh should be executed. Okay, so next is I'm going to look at this. I'm going to explain how this start EC2 is working after this. Okay, then if the user chooses stop instances, then stop-ec2 script is going to get executed. Similarly, for check status of instances option, third option, it will be start sorry, I think just exit yeah. So when the user chooses option 3, which is check status of instances, then status-ec2.sh script is going to be called. And then when the user logs out, then this command is going to execute, which is going to kill the session for this user and log him out. So this is the command that is running behind the scenes when you choose option 4 here. Okay. Now let's see other scripts also. So I'll just come out of it, and start stop is done. Now let's have a look at this start EC2 script. So vim start -EC2 sh, and you can see here what I'm trying to do is, once again I'm using some variables for the colors here, and I'm using this while true condition here, and I'm echoing the options. So when the user chooses option 1, start instances, if I choose this here, then he's going to get this screen. So this screen is coming from this script, and this script, if you see, it's going to give you start instances like this, and instance 1, instance 2, and go back to main menu, which is given in the screen. Once again, I'm using this read parameter to store the input from the user and store it in a variable called reply. And then if any of these 3 options are chosen by the user, then depending on if the user has chosen option 1 here, which is for start instance 1. So that means you have to run the AWS CLI command for start instances, which is this one, AWS EC2 start instance, then instance ID of the instance 1. And also what I want to capture, I want to capture the status of the instance with its name, right? When I choose this, one, hit enter. So if you see, the instance status has changed from stop to pending. So here you can see I'm able to see the tag. So this is the tag attached to the instance 1 on the on this console. If I choose instance 1 here, go to tag, you can see name is instance 1. So I want to see that on my screen, that instance 1 is in pending state or starting state. Oh, okay. So it is coming from here. So in the first command, it's going to start the instance. In the second command, it's going to give you the status of the instance, because I'm trying to query the entire output when you run this describe instances command, and I want to capture the tag key is equal to name and the state of the instance, which is this pending right now. If I choose again, if I go back again, and if I check the status again, you will see the instance will be in running status now. Check status of instance 1, it will be in running status. Okay, because when you start the instance, it goes from stop to pending, and then from pending to running. So instance 1 is now in running status. You can see here also instance 1 is in running status now. Okay, so this is how the script is being called to call the different instances API calls. Okay, so for instance 1, these commands are going to run, and then the filter will be shown on the screen. Similarly for instance 2, it is same. For instance 2, it will be the same information, but for instance 2 here, as you can see here, I've entered the instance ID of instance 2, and then once again I'm trying to query the excuse me, key is equal to name and also the state of the instance. Then if the user chooses option 3, okay, let me reopen this file. There's some issue. If the user chooses option 3, then it's going to again execute this start stop EC2 script.sh, because the user has to go back to the main menu, right? Here, if I choose start instances, I get this third option, right? When I hit third option, the user should get to the home of the main script. So we're going to execute this main script when the user chooses option 3. So this is how the script is being called. Okay, now if I choose stop instance, okay, let's check the status instance first. So once again, status is quite similar to start and stop, but let's just take a look. In status, once again, the user gets the option instance 1 or instance 2. If the user chooses instance 1, then describe instance for instance 1 is going to be run, and then once again we're trying to query the tag key name and the state of the instance, and it's going to be shown on the screen. Similarly for instance 2, instance ID of the other instance, and the tag key is equal to name and the state of the instance at that point of time. Okay, and then if user wants to go back to the main menu, then again the main script should be executed so that he can reach the main menu. So the main script will be executed. Okay, this is how the scripts are working. Now if I talk about stop instances, where I'm using this dialog utility. So let's go to stop hyphen instance 1. So I'm just going to show you for one instance, but it's going to be similar for other instance also, because we have two stop scripts here. Okay, one for instance 1, the other for instance 2. So let me show you for instance 1. So here if you see, I'm using this dialog utility that we just installed on our Bastion host. Okay, so this is a very good utility if you want to have that user interface where you can set certain options, like I want you to see the warning option because I'm trying to stop an instance, so I just wanted to see the warning. So this is how the warning is coming from. Okay, so in warning I want to have this message displayed, are you sure you want to stop instance 1, and then it should have yes or no option also. So that is why it's coming here. Okay, if I choose yes, then it's going to run the stop instances command. It's going to stop the instance. Okay, and it's going to show me the status of the instance once again, the instance key name, the name key of the instance with its value. Also it's going to show the state of the instance after the instance is stopped also. Okay, so instance has been stopped is coming from here, and if you are choosing not to stop the instance, then the other output is coming from here. Instance was not stopped. If you choose that option no on that warning screen, then this line will be displayed to you. Fine. Stop hyphen instance 1, and let's say the last one, which is stop hyphen EC2.sh. So here once again, whatever you see on the stop screen option, if I go to stop instances, second option here, then these four things are displayed. So these four things are coming from here. Okay, it's the same thing as for the other ones. If you can see, I'm using read utility, I'm using while true condition here, and I'm trying to echo these different sentences to be seen on the screen. And then if the user wants to stop instance 1, then stop instances instance1.sh script will be executed. If the user chooses instance 2, then stop instance 2 sh script will be executed. Okay, and if the user wants to go back to the main menu, then the main script will be executed to reach the main screen. Okay, and if the user chooses any other option than 1 2 3, then he's going to see a message called invalid entry. Okay, with a particular font color, okay, which I have specified using this. Okay, so this is going to represent a particular code. I think it was for red as far as I remember, so it was for red. Yeah, so if you choose any other option from 1 2 3, which it is going to be an invalid entry, so you're going to see this message from here. So this is how this script, these scripts are working together. I hope the concept, the whole idea, the plot, the main concept, and how, what was the problem statement and how we were able to find the solution and how we actually executed the solution is clear to you. If you have any doubt related to this project, please reach out to me in the comment section. I'm going to answer all your queries. And if you really like this video, please hit the like button, please share it with your friends and colleagues, and please do subscribe to my channel. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to cover, and I'm going to see you in the next one.